Hey there. Welcome back to StarCraft 2. Or welcome if you're new. Good to have you here either way. Nice to see you. Nice to have you around. Today, I'm asking myself a very simple question that I've asked myself before, and that I'm sure I'll ask myself again in the future. Do I actually suck? And I'm going to try to figure out the answer to this question through watching a replay of my own gameplay. Now, spoiler alert, I did win this game. So, I'm not watching a loss as I typically do, but I want to see what I could have done to play this game and close this game out better. So that's what I'll be trying to solve today. Let's just get into things. I guess I just like increase the speed. I'm following my player camera right now. I was kind of like randomly panning around by the looks of it. I think I'm setting up my hotkeys. One thing, it's not like super important, but one thing I need to do more is just use my camera hotkeys in general. Oh, I extractor tricked this game, so I fucked up my build order. That's one thing to take note of. I think during this game, I like accidentally built the Overlord first before the drone, or I mean the other way around. And then I delayed my build order and I went for the extractor trick, I think really late, just to try to like get back on track with things. But I built that hatchery. I'm like kind of on pace, but I've got weird timings for like what I'd normally be doing. Things don't quite line up the way that they normally would. Got the pool down, got my second base coming up. SCV's coming to scout me. I think I followed around too long. I don't know how big of a deal that is though, because he's also losing the worker. He follows me down to his third base. I keep that Overlord intact, but I think he ends up following it around. Send my drone back. Got a bunch of safety lings. I send those up to go kill the scout. Kill the scout. Send my lings around. I probably should have like auto-pathed them to a bunch of potential locations where he could have had a proxy or something, but I think it would have been late if I'd done that anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. I did scout a bunch with them though, so it ends up being pretty much the same. Looks like I got the Baneling nest down a little bit late there. So far, like, the biggest issues with this game are that my build order still isn't very clean. I think I was, like, a little tilted as it was at this point, though. I got my overlords out. I'm building more lings. These ones are all heading across the map. I'll let them all group up. The Baneling nest finishes, like, right as I'm getting over there, and I morph a bunch of Banes. Hotkey a bunch of them. Hotkey my lings. All pretty standard gameplay so far. So I'm attacking his base. What could I have done here to, like, potentially fuck him up more? So I get those lings, like, actually into his base. He shuts that, and then I destroy the wall. Should I have just sat on his production here? Like, it's something I potentially could have done to just keep killing more units. I try to get into his mineral line here and kill a whole bunch of workers, though. And he is supply blocked. I was trying to kill these Hellions for, I feel like, maybe too long. I should have just let all of those Banes go and, like, kill all the workers in that second base or something along those lines, I think. Because here, this just ends up being, like, a big waste of time. I just, like, keep pulling back and not getting a lot of value. But I killed a decent amount of workers. Units lost tab. So I lost more than him. But I re-up faster. And I'm 16 out of 16 mining, and my opponent currently has all of their drones off of their second base. Oh, but he has a third base up. This isn't something I considered at the time in the game. He got a really fast third base, I feel like. So none of these are mining still. He finally passed them back. One fully saturated base. He's re-upping with like 3 workers at a time here. And then I send in another attack wave. He just rebuilds his wall. He's back up to 8. Okay, so he's got 8 on here. How many did he have before I attacked him? So I killed 3 workers, maybe a mule or something along those lines. The first attack wasn't particularly successful. Like, I got in, and I made him stop mining for a while I fully saturated my second base. But I mostly just got my lings fucked up by a bunch of Hellions. I at least, like, killed 2 of them, so he couldn't immediately harass me after the fact. But it still wasn't great. Anyways, he goes back to mining. I've got a bunch more lings coming across the map here. They're all getting ready to morph. And I send in attack number 2. So he's almost fully saturated his second base by this point. He was sending Hellions across the map, but I think he ends up sending them back to his base to help defend. But if he'd just sent these all in, my worker line probably would have gotten fucked, man. So I break down his wall. Break down his wall, start killing his workers. I didn't actually kill that mule, which is kind of cringe. Send all this into his main. Now none of his bases are mining, except like kind of his third. And I just like keep killing workers again. All of these are like, they've taken a lot of damage though. And he's now almost no longer mining with his second base, other than like mules he gets back online. I think there's like an income tab, I assume. I've only lost like 200 more resources than him on double the units, which is kind of crazy. Production, I've got upgrades on the way. He's just getting drones. So that's like one advantage on my end. Spending? Is this like... Is the economy tab like resources? Where do I see like SCV count compared to each other? Is it the harvesters? Is this it? So I only have like a few more workers than him right now. I don't know what this means. Is that like the average floated minerals or something along those lines? I'm not sure. Okay, so like this whole time I've had 2 fully mining bases and I'm getting a third online and I think I'm about to just pump that base up. And he spent like maybe 30 seconds to a minute just like outright not mining. And like losing units and rebuilding stuff and just generally setting behind his own game plan. So I am ahead, but I'm definitely not as ahead as I thought I was. I thought that I'd like kind of crippled the guy, but I did meaningful damage for sure and put him on the back foot. But I definitely thought I was stronger here than I was. Okay, and I think off the back of that attack, I decided that I was ahead enough that I was gonna try to like just race him to army or like to supply cap. And just go for like a big army advantage on the back of like upgrades and stuff. So I guess I'd look at the production tab for that. He's getting 2 factories online. I'm starting to get my Hydra Den. He's sending these across, but I don't think they end up doing anything. I think they just sit in the middle of the map for a long time. He just kind of fucks around with them. I'm pretty sure I would have just killed them with speedlings though, so it's not that relevant. I'm getting a 4th base online. I think I'm fully saturating this base around now. I think I have a bunch of larvae at least about to pump into that. Not yet, it would seem, though. I'm getting Bane speed, but I'm not sure I built another Bane for the rest of this game, so that was probably dumb. Hydra Den's finished. Getting more queens online. 4th base is still building. Guy's repairing all his Hellions, which I think takes money, and is just time spent not mining with those SCVs. So right now, I think his mining power is actually stronger than mine is. But I'm definitely ahead on, like, the tech side of things. As far as, like, tech and, like, army ball and just general production goes. Sending out the Viking to try to clear overlords. I don't think he really found that many of them. Like, I think he gets some over here eventually, but... No, he just sends it back. I wonder if he's just patrolling. I'm just leaving my army in front of his base. A lot of people attack from up here, though. So it might be better to just leave them like around here, like kill these rocks or something, give myself more space to fight with. I have a couple spines in case he ends up attacking me, which I think he tries to do around now. So he's kind of overbuilt workers, and the time he spent like getting his economy back online, I think is time that he'd normally spend building like upgrade buildings and things along those lines. I think I got a crazy good surround here. I killed like all of his Hellions pretty much for free. And then these ones are still on creep, so I catch them too. They can't really escape through the squares. That's like all his harassment units just dead. And then this PC teleports in, and I see it, and I come and kill it, and then almost immediately after, I think I go and attack him. Like, I build a bunch of units to go help myself here, but I just send my shit, like, up here, and I go kill him after this, I'm pretty sure. All of this is, like, fully saturated in mining. Getting a bunch more units. I've got... I think I started armor really late here. I swear I did get it, though. Got the force base online. I could probably have started another one by now, but I don't think I end up needing it. Dude built 4 missile turrets, and I don't think at any point in this game have I ever threatened an air attack. But maybe it's just to prevent the overlords from seeing his base? I don't know. Anyways, I got all my units over here, so I just like, oh, that's a lot. That's like, it's bad for him to lose those mules. I end up killing most of the mules, because that's like a lot of his energy on economy. And he's mostly focused on just getting himself back online. And I just come in here, I kill his tanks, kill his defenses. I'm just like in his base now. And that's just game. So what are the big takeaways here? I'd say the biggest one is that unless I slaughter his worker line, I'm not actually... like, this was brought up in a comment, which was a big reason that I wanted to take another look at this game, is... unless I slaughter his worker line, I'm not as ahead as I think I am. Like, the time he spent not mining and the time he spent getting his economy back online was impactful, and it does matter. And, like, it's time he has to spend defending his base and, like, trying to get me off his back rather than time spent working on his own game plan. Which probably, like, if he's, like, around my elo, then I'm assuming that it messes with his game plan about as much as it does when it happens to me. The other thing I always have to remember on this map is you can just go for a greedy third base, because this is the only real entry point into your base. If you're not just like building air units or doing something to cheese air units out very early. I think I probably spent too much time trying to catch and deal with those Hellions when like around... around here, I think I just spend too much time trying to fuck with the Hellions, and they just, like, have too good of a position for me to really do that. Maybe I just send the Banes at them to sack them, like, let him just kite them away, and then just, go kill his worker line, like, with my actual units. I was just trying too hard to catch all these Hellions, and it just didn't really end up panning out for me. It's just good micro on his end, I gotta say. I guess I could have also split the Banes and the Lings, and I just send the Lings up into his main base, and then just, like, use the Banes to kill all the workers at his second. Force him to, like, choose what he wants to kill the most. Or just get his Hellions away from, like, this gap. Put them in a position where maybe I've got a better chance at catching them. Because if they've got to come up here, it's probably more in my favor to potentially get, like, a surround or, like, a good fight on them. And then I might be able to turn that into, like, a bigger worker advantage. Buy myself more time for this next wave of Lings to come help. I don't know, something along those lines. But I think, like, it was still a successful attack. It just wasn't a perfect one. I get another bust. I go start killing workers at a second. I think this was like a really good fight on his end, where he just like surrounds his Hellions with his workers and just uses them to fight him like all my shit off as a ball together. I guess when I see him pull all of his stuff away from the minerals, I can just like kite away from the Hellions though, because as long as he's not mining, I'm in a super good position. I think when it comes down to it, the answer to the question at the start of the episode is yes. I do suck. My intuition about the state of the game was off. The damage I was able to do with free access to my opponent's mineral lines was nearly inconsequential. Like it probably did win me the game. Like it led to me winning the game, but it was pretty inconsequential at the end of the day. Like this was definitely a recoverable position. And lastly, I think it just took me like way too long to saturate my third base and like get a fourth base online. Like I should be booming my economy off the back of that like this fight here. And I think I just took too long to do that. Like I could have gotten a few defensive spines to potentially deal with like Hellions attacking me on the backside of everything. I got the one of them. But if I have like two or three, it's probably hard for him to get into my base in the first place. Yeah, I'd say the big takeaways from this game are I should send a Ling to check this base if I do break in. I need to not get so distracted by the Hellions. I was trying to just like get a cheeky little surround on them and like kill all his potential defensive units. But if I'd just gone and like up into his main base and just started killing workers and forced his Hellions into a worse position, or just kept him from mining for longer, like it's huge damage to his economy comparatively to like even if the workers die, or like even if the workers don't die, just every second that this base is on zero is huge for me. And then lastly, I really got to work on teching up on the back of like this opening fight and this like opening trade and engagement. I When I was playing the game at the time, I felt like I was doing a decent job here, but from watching it back, I think I was actually like pretty sloppy and I was really delayed on a lot of this. I've just got like a lot of spare resources that I could probably be spending around now. And I could definitely be building queens with this extra money. Anyways, that's going to be all for StarCraft 2 for tonight. I think I've answered the question for myself. Drop a like on the video if you stuck around this long. Hit that sub button if you want to see more StarCraft or just whatever else I'm uploading at the time. And have a lovely morning, noon, or night. Peace.